We are back in the playoffs for the second consecutive year, and after avoiding the wild card once again, we had a chance to face the winner of the New York Mets, which would have been a rematch of our playoff series lost last year in the divisional round, or the unstoppable Dodgers. And the winner of that wild card season and our opponent in the NLDS is the Los Angeles Dodgers. The unstoppable Titans that have not been bested in many, many years at this point is our task here for the Year 5 playoff series. I was hoping this could be a team that maybe we could face in a conference series, but we're going to have to beat them to even get there. This team is very, very old. You see Roki Sasaki here, still 27 years old, and is now their best player. But Mookie Betts at 36, still very talented. Shohei Ohtani at 92, of course, still very talented. Jose Ramirez, they added. Will Smith at 33, still talented. Ketel Marte, they added. He's gone down a lot. They did end up retaining O'Neal Cruz. So the O'Neal Cruz revenge series potential in this postseason matchup. Snell at 36. They've got Hernandez at 36. Very old, very experienced, very, very talented baseball team we'll be facing off here to try and get our first postseason series victory of the rebuild. Not going to be easy by any means. You have to imagine they're going to stick with a 4-man rotation and 4 very talented pitchers in that rotation. Great hitters, great pitching, great all around. That's why they are always the champion every single time we've simulated through a season in this franchise series. We are trying to end that streak here today. My custom game entry settings for the series will be set at low, and I'll hop in as soon as the first inning. I think that will get us a decent amount of opportunities to hop in. Last time we didn't hop in as much, but there weren't as many close games, and it ended up, on the flip side, resulting in us being able to watch the entirety of the elimination game. So either way, I think we'll stick with this setup, and we'll see if it works for this series against the star-studded Dodgers. Let's get this exciting series underway now. I apologize for the delay. You might be able to tell it in my voice, but I am currently quite sick. I was hoping it would be just a thing that would last a day or two so that I could avoid having to record this while I'm sick. But such has not been the case. I could not be so lucky, so we will be trying to get through this. It might take me a few tries to get through this voice over, but I didn't want to wait too long to get you guys this awesome matchup. Jazz Chisholm up to the plate now here. Bottom of the first inning. 1 on, 1 gone. Trying to go for a steal is Billy Fink, and he gets there safely, putting him in scoring position now. Reached 20 miles per hour on that jaunt over to second. Can Jazz Chisholm bring over the first postseason run? Of course, a big factor in last year's postseason. I'd say probably an upset by New York. I certainly went into that series thinking that we could and should win it. But we did not have Jazz Chisholm. Can that make the difference here against what I think is a tougher opponent here in the Dodgers? Of course, they are pitching Yoshinobu Yamamoto in this game, so they'll be going with the third man in the rotation. That one's hit up the middle by Jazz Chisholm, and Billy Fink easily gets his way across home plate. Jazz showing just what we were missing last postseason already, bringing home a clutch RBI here in the bottom of the first inning. Can we stack additional runs here? Joe Adele hitting for us in that 4 spot. Once again, a man on first with 1 out. Jazz Chisholm also a still throw. We'll see if he tries to get to second at some point here in this at-bat. Splitter well located there to get Joe Adele behind 0-2 on the count. 17th pitch here of the first inning for Yamamoto. You love to see that. Hopefully that will result in him not lasting too far in this game, because the bullpen here in Los Angeles isn't nearly as high quality as the starters are, which is, of course, not entirely uncommon. Joe Adele hits it hard to center, but O'Neal Cruz, our current center fielder, flies out over there to our previous center fielder. And that's going to bring up Victor Robles. Hoping he can pick things up a bit here in the postseason after, I would say, a slightly subpar performance from him in the regular season so far this year. Nice job getting ahead of the count, 2-0. Into the 20s now for pitches for Yamamoto. Swinging through that fastball. Could have been 3-0. Had he not hacked at it. And Jazz Chisholm will try for second base now. Thought he'd maybe do it a little bit earlier, but decides that now is the time. It was a pretty close play, but Jazz safe in the second. Robles, sharp grounder over to first, and Luis Arraez gets him out, and that'll end the first inning. Just 1 run for the Pirates, but we'll certainly take it. Back again in the second inning. 2 men on base now and 1 out as Termarr Johnson lifts one over to left field for the second out. That's going to bring up the top of the order and Billy Fink. He got a walk in the first inning for us, and of course ended up getting across home plate for the lone run so far in this ballgame. Trying to keep this second inning alive now. Yamamoto nearing 50 pitches already in this game. That's going to get through that right infield gap and will hold there, keeping the bases loaded. As Billy Fink has reached now for the first 2 plate appearances here in postseason action. Brian Reynolds with the bases juiced. He gets some contact on that first pitch, but not good enough. We'll leave him loaded in the second. The offense doing a pretty good job here, getting guys on base. The 3rd consecutive inning here, we have a situation to watch. We've also scored our 2nd run, but unfortunately Pedro Ponce, we're going to leave men on base once more. Left him loaded in the 2nd, left him on the corners in the 3rd. Let's jump ahead now to the 5th inning. We've yet to see Paul Skenes pitch at all in this game. He's pitched fairly well. Only 1 run allowed here as we get to the 5th inning. 0-1 pitch, dribbled over to 3rd, and Jazz Chisholm makes the throw across the diamond. Out number 1 acquired here. That's going to bring up Luis Arraez, always a good contact hitter. Very reliable on-base guy, so we'll see if we can get him out here as well. And if Paul Skenes can continue his strong start to open up the postseason. Of course, we pitched him in Game 1 last time as well. Last time in the NLDS. Gives him a good chance to enter the game and pitch in a closeout situation, which is what we'd like. I'm getting surprised every time I see Pedro Ponce's bald head. Don't view him as somebody that would be bald based on what he looks with the baseball hat on. Marte on the first pitch, grounds out over to second. And Skenes with another great inning here against the Dodgers. So very, very potent offense here in Los Angeles. The fact that Skenes is still out here in the 7th and he's yet to even surpass 60 pitches is really fun to see. He does allow the leadoff single here to O'Neal Cruz, though, and that's going to be the last straw for Paul. I felt like in last episode on our stream, the game, our staff left our starter in a little bit too long, and it cost us the game. This time they are very quick to get the starter off the mound in the 7th. Although with that pitch count, I would have maybe at least let him pitch against Mookie. But that could obviously have ended up being a mistake. So it'll be Fernando Torero instead. One of the young relievers. That was a good throw from Jan. That is a very long windup there from Torero that I feel like makes it hard to avoid that stolen base. O'Neal Cruz certainly, of course, has the speed as well. Two-one pitch for Mookie is way upstairs. That's ball 3. I mean, walking Mookie Betts isn't the worst thing you could do, but when you have Shohei Ohtani up next after him, it's very risky. That one was left way too much over the middle. And that will be an RBI single for Mookie Betts on the 3-1 pitch. This game is tied now at 2 apiece. Maybe we should have left Skenes on. It's not going to get any easier here now going against Shohei. Dodgers looking to take the lead. Go ahead, run on first. Shohei 1 for 2 so far in the game. Change up low gets him to swing, and Torero is ahead 0-2. The pitch is by him, high and tight. 4 strike 3. A great at-bat by Fernando Torero against one of the league's best. The Silver Slugger DH winner for this year as well. And now that'll bring up Will Smith. That's a great pitch as well. Some really nice control, of course, except for that Mookie Betts pitch that brought home the run. A lot of pitches right here on the outside corners. The edges of the strike zone here. Just missing on that cutter. The count becomes 1-1. Torero changeup. Gets Will Smith swinging to get behind 1 and 2. Or ahead in our case. Oh, that's called strike 3. Another painted there for back-to-back punch-outs against a really talented portion of this Dodgers lineup. Look at that one right there. Beautiful pitch. Arise back up to the plate here. Only had a 245 average in 2029. So definitely not what you'd expect from a player like Luis. Can we go back-to-back punch-outs here for Torero? Be really fun to see. Gets the strike on that first pitch there. This is popped up by Arise. It was pretty much right over the middle. But Billy Fink settles underneath for the out, and now we've got a tied ball game. Who will get the edge here in the final portion of Game 1? Got a man on first for Jazz Chisholm in the 7. The chopper will get through the infield. The diving play from Marte did not get there. And it'll advance a runner into scoring position. Joe Adell is hitless so far today. Will he change that here? Pretty much anything other than a double play. Now, that was the curse of our last year's postseason run, is that it felt like anytime we got a runner on first base, it was pretty much a foregone conclusion that we would ground into a double play right after. It hasn't been the issue so far today, and that one was hit hard, but it'll go foul. Going against Trevor Stephan here for the Dodgers, as the count evens up now. 2-2 pitch for Adell. Hit sharply through the left infield gap, and diving in easily for the go-ahead run is Brian Reynolds. Back-to-back singles here since joining here in the 7th. And the Pirates retake the lead here. We're not hitting them hard, but we're stringing together hits, which is exactly what we were not able to do at all last postseason. Already seeing the improvements. Robles. Good start to the postseason, 2 for 3. Looking for that third hit here. One pitch incoming. Fouls it off again. Two men on base for Pittsburgh. We could really open up a lead here, but Victor Robles, unfortunately, the 2 times we've watched him, or his 2 outs, and the 2 times we haven't watched him, he's been able to get a hit. Albert Sweeney, that's the first time we'll get a look at him here in the postseason. Great pitch there for strike 1. Got a couple singles and an RBI so far in this game. Falling behind after not getting great contact there on the slider. Here comes the 0-2. Outside for ball 1. Good eye there from Albert Sweeney. Wasn't as good this year. Had the injury that might have impacted his production. But it wasn't quite as good this year as he was as a rookie. You're always looking for these players that can maybe turn things on in the postseason. Albert Sweeney, it is fair and gone. A 3-run blast and the first career postseason home run for Albert Sweeney. I'm not 100% sure that's true, I guess. Might have got one last postseason. I'm just not remembering right now. I am sick, so I'm not at 100%. You'll have to excuse me. But what a big moment as the Pirates open up a big lead in Game 1. That home run right there might just win us the ball game. It will be the end of the day for Stephan, as the Pirates do a great job of stringing together hits to extend their lead, and ultimately that would be enough to win Game 1. Dodgers would tack on one additional run, but a 6-3 ball game is how we'll kick off this divisional series. Getting a win in Game 1 certainly feels good, as the guys celebrate. 11 hits on the board for Pittsburgh, 6 for Los Angeles. A great game pitched by Paul Skenes. The save goes to Clase. And And the loss goes to Trevor Steffen. We got another home game coming up here in Game 2. Let's hop into Game 2 action. Once again, gonna get involved here. Starting from the first inning, Jared Jones has allowed the first 2 runners to reach for LA. A bit of a trouble here, but the double play against Mookie Betts could get him out here of this jam to start this game. 6-4-3, a nice leaping throw by Johnson to get the 2 outs. Still not going to be easy to come out of here with 0 runs, though, with Shohei up next. Of course, the runner at second advanced to third during that double play. With 2 outs, sacrifice not going to be an option. He'll get a strike 3 call there. Barely clipping that upper outside corner. Shohei, 9-time All-Star. 9-time straight All-Star as well, which is, of course, impressive. To not even have a single down year at all. Pitch 15 coming up for Jared. Unable to get Shohei to bite on that. Fastball low. 2-2 pitch now is in there for strike 3. Right on that lower outside corner. Great job by Jared Jones to go from runners on first and second, no outs, to the out of the inning clean. First look at the offense comes in the bottom of the first inning. Once again, Billy Fink starts the game off with a walk. We're going to be going against Roki Sasaki in this game. Not going to be easy at all to score runs on the Dodgers this time around. Now, you can always, of course, get a pitcher on a bad day, but he is a very talented pitcher. Jazz played really solidly for us in the first game. Getting on base consistently. Keeping innings alive. Can he do so again? Inside on the hands. He's swinging at the first pitch. Could have used a little more patience there as he flies out, and now we're 2 gone. It's going to be the responsibility of Joe Adell now to keep this first inning going. Only 8 pitches right now for Sasaki. Getting some quick outs. Adell swinging at the first pitch, but couldn't locate it all that well. 26 homers in 146 games in the regular season for Joe Adell. Trying to get to second is Billy Fink, and he is in there safe. But Joe Adell is also behind in the count. Runner in scoring position. Joe Adell is going to lift it out to right field, and scoreless through 1 in Pittsburgh. Bottom of the second, offense back up here, as there's once again a runner on first, but Albert Sweeney caught looking at a very tough pitch there by Sasaki right there on the edge. Great pitching, great call. Hard to really blame Sweeney on that one. This will be our first look at David Yan, at least offensively. Of course, we've seen him behind the plate. Hitting .250 so far in this postseason. Of course, very limited sample size. And the splitter looked hittable enough, but he couldn't find it. So he's behind 0-2. Great look at the umpire there that we've got for this game. Can he get out of this at bat? That's almost the exact same location as he had on the last strikeout. David Yan goes down looking right on that edge again. Pedro Ponce is hitting in the 8th spot for us.
1-0.
In the first inning, we got a man on first, and we're unable to do anything with it. Looking like we're in danger of doing the same thing here in the second inning with a great slider hot for strike one. Coming from Sasaki, trying to get Robles out there. Robles, of course, a very potent steal threat. I'm surprised, honestly, he hasn't gone at this point. We'll see if he tries to get in the scoring position in the next pitch or two. We're only a strike away from being out of the inning, though. But some good eyes from Pedro Ponce. We'll keep this at bat alive. 2-2. And, oh, man, that was almost the exact location. He's gotten a couple of strikeouts already. Just a touch more outside. Count runs full. Pitch 29 for Sasaki is in that same spot. I mean, that is... He is attacking that area of the zone here in the second inning. Ponce doing a great job extending this at bats. Ultimately, though, gonna ground out to Ramirez. Another inning for the Pirates, where we just couldn't advance the runner from first. Offense will get another chance here in the third. Brian Reynolds gets a good piece of this ball, and it's bouncing over the wall for an automatic double and an RBI for Brian Reynolds as Billy Finken found his way to third, so the automatic double brings him home. Los Angeles has also scored a run at this point, so it's one apiece now. At the top of the order, getting on the board for the Pirates. Jazz Chisholm now with an opportunity with a runner in scoring position. Will he make the most of it here? Slider. Left a little bit of space over the plate, but fouled off. Good eyes there. On the splitter outside and low. Fouling off. Another one here is Jazz Chisholm to even up the count. Reynolds on second. One gone in the inning, and the count will run full here for our superstar third baseman. One of the top MVP vote getters this year. Somehow continuing to improve in his time in Pittsburgh, but swinging through the full count pitch for the third strikeout of the game for Sasaki. Adele gets another chance here. It feels like so many times already we've had Adele up with 2 outs and an opportunity to score. He's come through for us already in the episode. Can he do it again on the 50th pitch? Lifted to left. It is gonna get down right in front of Teoscar Hernandez. The Pirates take the lead. He goes for 2. Didn't even come close, but he does put the Pirates ahead here. 2-1. Into the 5th now, where Jared Jones had a runner on base, but David Yon throws him out. Great play there from behind the dish. His throws have been really accurate. I'm confident in his ability to get runners out most of the time. That throw was right on the money. I mean, didn't even need to move the glove for that out. That puts us at now 1 out and no runners on for Jared Jones. We're getting another really strong pitching performance. Looked like it could be a little ugly early when we were already hopping into Jared Jones early on in the game with no outs. But he's certainly turned things up, and he gets a strikeout on Outman. Top of the order hitting for the Dodgers is Jose Ramirez hitting that one spot. Now an out away from another clean inning for Jared. Still under 50 pitches so far. And with a strikeout here, he could be exactly at 50 pitches through 5 innings. We'll see if he can do it. The 0-2. Backs Ramirez off the plate. Can we get back-to-back punch-outs here? Jared Jones is well off the plate there as well. Might be trying to reset the eyes of Ramirez here. Setting them up for a strikeout. And fouled off on the curve. Ramirez not being an easy out here for that strike 3, but he gets it on the slider. Well inside. Back-to-back punch-outs for Jared Jones. Now he's back here in the 6th. This time there's a runner on second as Shohei Ohtani lifts it to right, and they will not test the arm of Robles here. Runner holds at second. Pirates did add a run onto their lead as well in the 5th. Jared Jones with a little bit of wiggle room here, although not much at all, to maintain this lead. I'd rather just be able to retire Will Smith here, and the grounder to first gets the job done. Another inning done for Jared Jones. The pitching has been strong for Pittsburgh for the first 15 innings of this series, and the Pirates end up winning game 2 as well. Both home games end up with victories for Pittsburgh, this time by a score of 1-5. Offense doing what they need to. The pitching being excellent has been the story through the Pirates taking this 2-0 lead on the Dodgers, and we are one away from finally ending the Dodgers' reign on baseball that has lasted the last 5 seasons. Can we get it, though, now going on the road for Game 3, where we'll be trying to hit against Shohei Ohtani as Joe Adell strikes out here with a couple of runners on base in the first again. Good pitch in there by Shohei. Robles will be the one with the shot here to keep the inning alive.
1 ball, no strikes.
First pitch of the at-bat in the dirt for ball 1. Billy Fink is the man on second, so won't take much of a hit to get him to score. I mean, Billy Fink has been getting on base in the first inning every single game. He's been a great leadoff man for us so far in this series. And with a flash of the glove, Luis Arraez retires Robles, and nothing doing for the Pirates. Now it's the Dodgers' turn to try and get something going in the first. Mookie Betts hits a sharp single. And the runner holds at third base. They are now juiced for LA. Thought they'd try to get that runner at second to score, but it's the nice thing about having such a great arm over in right field is the CPU will not really test them all that often. Shohei Ohtani with the bases juiced is a very dangerous situation. He hasn't been hitting great here in the postseason so far, but it kind of makes it feel like he's due for one. Fouls this one off, and Mitch Keller gets ahead. 0-2. Shohei, a Cy Young winner. in the first year of this rebuild. Oh, come on with that nonsense. That should be a strikeout. I mean, should have been strike 3 called, but instead we'll get strike 3 swinging on the very next pitch. No harm, no foul. Shohei's rough postseason continues, at the plate at least. Of course, he's pitching also today, so hasn't been too rough of a pitching postseason for him as much as it has been a hitting one. Will Smith with an even lower average. The cutter just misses.
1 ball, 1 strike.
Will Smith with a 48 career WAR in 11 seasons. Solid stuff there. Oh no, it's a grand slam. You've got to be kidding me. A first inning grand slam for Will Smith. The Dodgers have now scored more in this, or at least the same amount of runs in this first inning as they had in games 1 and 2 combined. Oh boy. That's not the start you wanted here on the road in LA. Marte with 2 outs now in the first inning. Finally, Mitch Keller able to get out of the inning. With 4 runs already on the board for LA. Going to take a good game from us to come back. And that would actually be the only time we'd hop into this game at all, as the Dodgers totally wiped the floor with us in their hometown. So the home team has now won all 3 games in this series. The bad news, game 4 also in LA, but the good news is we're still just 1 game away from clinching the series. It was not our day today. 11 runs on 16 hits for LA. 1 run on 6 hits. For the first time in this series, we actually don't get a scenario until later in this ball game. And in fact, it's already 4-1 before we hop in here. With the bases loaded in the bottom of the 3rd inning, Will Smith, can he get a grand slam in back-to-back games? That would be absolutely ridiculous. But I wouldn't put it past him. Thomas Coyle, the man on the mound for us in game 4. Should this go to a winner-take-all game 5, we'll have Paul Skenes back up there, which was the point of pitching him first. On Los Angeles side, it is Blake Snell starting this game for them, and we've got a good start going on against him. Changeup fouled off for strike 2. Pitch number 50 incoming for Thomas Coyle. It is a slider that Will Smith could not draw contact. Coyle gets out of a jam with the bases juiced. No back-to-back grand slams for Will Smith, at least not yet. Speaking of juiced bases, Joe Adele has a chance. The Pirates have scored an additional run. Oh boy, it looks like it might actually happen here on the road in LA in this game, as long as the pitching continues to be strong. 5-1, bases juiced, 1 out, and Joe Adele is in for a base hit. That'll score 2 more Pirates runs. Fink in at third base. Joe Adele with a 2-run single. And the Pirates' lead has grown further. That'll end the day for Dustin May, as Gavin Stone now will approach the mound for Brian Reynolds, hitting in that 3 spot today. Got runners on the corners for Brian. Can we continue to build our lead even further here in the 6th? I said it earlier on in the episode, but we've done a much better job stringing together hits this divisional series than we did last year. We invested a lot in that clutch stat with our staff, making sure we were very conscious of it in the off season. And I think it's worked out for us quite well in this series. Have we even grounded into one double play? I mean, probably in the simulation, but not one that we've seen. Now watch, I'm going to jinx it here, and Brian Reynolds is going to do that right now. Hope not, but just so much better hitting. I mean, we'll ignore game 3 as Reynolds does bring Billy Fink across home plate. 8-1 is now the lead. I have a hard time with how we've been pitching. Again, game 3 aside. To see us giving up such a big lead.
Ball one.
You can never say never, though, with this Dodgers lineup. Previewed it at the beginning. We've seen it in action at times. Not consistently, but at times. This is a very potent Dodgers lineup. I wouldn't put it past them to erase a 7-run lead in 3 innings, 4 innings by any means. There's also a chance that we're not even done with this inning yet. We're still only 1 out on the board.
Ball three.
Jan gets ahead 3-0. The best discipline on the squad. Showing it here. 3-1 pitch is maybe not the best ball 4 call, but we'll take it. As David Jan's walk uses the bases for Albert Sweeney. He's the only guy that we've seen hit a home run on our side so far. It's not the only one who's done it, but it's the only one we've seen. Can he go for a grand slam? That would be insane. Deep to right, and it's going to run foul. Albert Sweeney picked up 4 RBI. Did you say in the last game? Did he not play in game 3? We didn't even have 4 RBI in game 3. I must have misread that, but a sacrifice fly here makes it 9-1 for the Pirates. Great showing on both sides here. The offense putting up a great amount of runs. Thomas Coyle doing his thing. Pitching. The same thing he'd been doing all year long in his Rookie of the Year campaign. Pedro Ponce has had a couple of opportunities to show up big for us. Hasn't really done it, and that'll be the case here again. Not that we really needed him to come through for us all that much at this point. We've got a comfy lead here as we head to the bottom of the 6th. Can we keep it? That is the question. We are now in the bottom of the 9th. 2 outs, 1 away from finally taking down the Los Angeles Dodgers. Lifted to center. Marte doesn't have the carry, and the Pirates have defeated the Dodgers. Somebody has finally ended the reign of the Los Angeles Dodgers, and it's our Pittsburgh Pirates in the year 2029. The team looked really, really good. The pitching was incredible for the most part in this series. The hitting was much more clutch than we saw last time. We pick up the win. And the team we'll be facing off against is the Milwaukee Brewers. They've already defeated the Atlanta Braves. Taking down the Dodgers in 4 was an impressive feat, and we have an opponent we are very familiar with coming ahead in the next episode. Now going to take 4 games to win the series as opposed to 3. They defeated the Braves. I was kind of honestly hoping to face off against Atlanta. I just think they're better, and we kind of got embarrassed by them earlier on in the year. But always fun to face such a familiar opponent when the stakes on the line are a trip to the World Series. Can we defeat Jackson Chourio and the Brewers on our way to a World Series appearance? That will be coming up here on the next episode. Hope you enjoyed this one and our win against the Dodgers in the NLDS. We'll be back soon to continue our playoff run, and I will see you then. Let's go Bucks.